It's been called the Godfather 2 of pro-gun books. Hands Off My Gun, Defeating the Plot to Disarm America is also a terrific book. I own 47 copies. Author Dana Loesch has been with us all night, so let's ask her about this book. So on the cover, Dana, is what?
Yes.
What are you holding?
My AR-15.
Now, what's special about this AR-15?
Just it's black and it's a salty. It looks a salty. It's probably shootier because I have a scope on there.
Yeah. This is your first AR.
That's my first one. I have a few.
How many
I have
ARs?
a lot of stuff.
How many ARs do you have?
I think we have about 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're not obsessed or anything.
No! You know what? It's like shoes. I look at my guns the same way. I have a lot of shoes. You need the mid-heel. You need a kitten heel.
Oh, now I understand
this
language.
See, you need the stiletto.
Yes.
It's the same thing with firearms. You one for every occasion.
That makes total sense
See,
to me.
there you go.
Now, you and I agree on a reoccurring theme that guns, I believe, are the ultimate equalizer for women.
Right.
So how do you get more people to agree?
Show them statistics. I mean, guns 60 times more over are used in instances of self-defense rather than instances of criminal attack. And that's just basic FBI uniform crime reports from 1984 to 2013. You know, apparently people who want to deprive us of those rights can't read, and they can't. It's online. It's FBI.gov. I mean, anybody can go and look at this stuff. But, I mean, that's not reported because that's not sexy in the news. That's not what sells. That's not what makes a headline. Everybody wants to look at tragedy, which is sad. But, I mean, there are more stories of women, mothers, even men too, fathers who use firearms in self-defense more so than criminals who illegally possess and illegally use firearms.
You grew up in Missouri. Did that have something to do with your love of guns?
It had everything to do with it. I grew up in the Ozarks, and they sent me to speech class when I was a kid because they said that yins wasn't a word. And I said, yes, it was. So I don't even know how you spell yins, by the way, but they said yins, like yins go up the holler and, you know, go see Granny and Grandpa, like that. It sounds like a banjo. But no, I grew up, all my family had rifles. I mean, the nearest supermarket was like an hour away. I would hold the legs of a squirrel, and you know, when my grandpa skinned it, and we'd field dress deer in the backyard, and so I mean, it was like very much like that. I mean, that was the way I grew up.
I mean, the point is, you couldn't rely on the police getting there in time. You needed a gun.
Average response time for 911 is 20 minutes. Now, my family lived out in rural Missouri, big county, Iron County, Wayne County, Missouri. You have like 2 deputies for a huge county. You're lucky if it's 20 minutes. So if something's hitting the fan, are you going to gamble 20 minutes on average with your security or your family security waiting for the law to show up? No, nobody's going to do that. You're your own first responder, and that's the point.
Don't have much time, but you had a family member that was assaulted. Did that have?
Yeah, it did. My aunt was my estranged uncle attempted to kill her, and she ran to my grandparents' house through the woods in the middle of the night. My grandfather protected her with his shotgun. He sat there on the porch, and that's how I came to learn that firearms were more than just for hunting.
Wow. Your life is like an episode of Justified.
Kind of,
or I can't
but like with overalls and bare feet.
On Lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. Well, everybody get her book. It's called Hands Off My Gun. You know Dana Loesch. She's great. She's on Blaze. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks,
also, thanks to TV's Andy Levy, Joanne, and the great Bonnie McFarlane, as always. That does it for me. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I shall see you next time.